Hi, welcome to our class today, and we're going to be doing a little Pilates session for the hip joint, and we're going to be focusing on circles, and actually we're going to do the circles in two different positions. So you can actually do these in standing as well. So the first thing we're going to do is start on our back. Now I have a block under my head. You don't need to have one, just see how it feels. Sometimes I feel having a block under the head just supports your lower back a little bit more. And shall we go? So a band, you can have a band, a towel, belt, anything like that will work. And if you don't have anything, that doesn't matter either. You can still do this. So I'm going to come down onto the back, and we'll start with the right leg. So I'm going to pop the right foot into there and then take it back up now. So we're only going to do little circles today. If you have had a hip replacement, I'm actually going to just turn to that direction. If you've had a hip replacement, you're not going to take your leg further than that. So we're going to do circles. Your leg doesn't go there. If you haven't had a hip replacement, then you can take your leg a little bit further, but make sure the bum stays on the floor. Okay? That is just precautionary. Obviously, if your consultant has said otherwise, then you listen to the consultant. So left leg can be straight. If that causes your pelvis to lift or too much discomfort, just have it slightly bent. So we're going to start. So we've got right leg. We're going to go anti-clockwise first. So take your leg across the body. Take it down a little bit. Take it out to the side and back up again. So like I said, they're not big circles. Let's say mine's probably the size of, I have no idea, a beach ball. But what I want you to focus on is keeping the hips completely still and turning the femur bone inside of the hip. So some people like to have their elbows. I like to just use this to hold the leg up. So drawing the tummy. And with your left leg, you can also push down through the left leg, and that can help you anchor a little bit as well. So I like to think we're just trying to massage in front, inside of that hip. Change direction. I'm just noticing how it feels. So I know my right side is a little bit tighter. So for me, the circles feel quite hard, almost like I'm trying to stir my femur bone in putty. It doesn't feel so flowy. So people often think Pilates and yoga teachers have perfect alignment, and probably have worse because we tend to do a lot on one side. Good. So we're going to bring that leg back up to the top, bend your leg, and now we're going to pop the left foot into there. And then again, you can have that right leg slightly bent, or you can have it nice and straight. You can also push this leg into the mat. Now remember, if you've had a hip replacement on your left side, where your hip is here, if there was a ruler from the foot to the hip, it wouldn't go past there. So we don't want it to go all the way over. If you haven't had a hip, you can go further, but keep your bum on the floor. So from here, take the leg across, take it down a little bit, take it out to the side and back up. So pulling in the tummy, anchoring the pelvis. So I like to visualize a skeleton when I'm doing Pilates. I want to visualize in my head what the bones are doing, what the muscles are doing. So now what I'm thinking of is the pelvis structure. Can you keep the pelvis completely on the floor and still, and just stir the femur bone inside of the hip? So rather than letting the whole body shake, if you can see. So you're trying to keep it completely still. And even if you do get a little bit of movement, the question is, are you trying not to move? And if you're trying not to move, you are still innervating those muscles. Changing direction. And then how does this side feel? So for me, my left side feels a little bit freer. It feels a little bit like it's smoother. So if I was going to do more, then I would need to do more on the other leg. So if you have got a noticeable side, you can always switch back. So I'm trying not to move the pelvis. Good. And then once the leg comes back up, bend the leg, and then release. So we're going to come into side lying now. Different options for you to be in this position. So if you've got shoulder problems or stuff, you'll probably want to come down. I will show you that one. But you can stay on the elbow and work there. Or the position that I'm going to do is I'm going to come down lower and I'll have my head down there. So bottom leg can be bent. If you're brand new to Pilates and you find you wobbling too much, have your bottom leg bent. You can have the bottom leg towards the front of the mat, or to make it harder, you can have the leg in line with the rest of the body. So you want to make sure that your top hip is above the bottom hip. So it's not rolling forward, and you're not rolling backwards. So the shoulder, hip, knees, and feet are in one line. And also make sure that your chin is up. Often when people lie on this side, they're looking down. So you want to make sure that the head is up. And again, your top hand can be there or on the floor. So I might just have it on the floor. So try and lift off of the side a little bit and reach your toes to the wall opposite you. And we're going to lift that top leg. We're going to do circles again. Now this time I want you to imagine you've got chalk in your toes, and you're going to draw a line, a little circle on the wall opposite you. So as you do this, we are trying not to move the pelvis. So yes, I can feel my pelvis is moving a little bit, but I'm squeezing the muscles and trying not to move it. So be aware that you're not drawing the circle with your ankle. It needs to be with the leg. If I take my hand away, I'll fall over. So if you find, oh, I'm very stable, there's no wobblosity going on, try and make the circle a little bigger. We want to find the point where you do have to work really hard to not fall, and then change direction. Ooh. So for me, the back one is harder. So the same exercise, just a different position, and how much it makes the muscles work in a different way. So we're getting a lot more into the glutes here, the hip flexors, a lot harder. I find this one physically harder. Good, and then release that leg, bring it down, and just give your bum a little rub. So we'll go over to the other side. So whichever arm position you took, do the same on this side, so that we try and not overdevelop one side or overstretch. So same leg position again, just take your time getting into the right place. So top hip is above the bottom, my legs are reaching away, chin is up, top hand is on the floor. I'm going to float that top leg up, but try and come off of your waist. And then think of a piece of chalk in your toes. I'm going to start small. So I know for me this side is weaker, so I'm going to probably find it's a lot harder. The muscles might fatigue a little bit quicker, but I'm still going to try. So I can even feel I'm losing balance quite easy. And even if you're watching, you might be able to see that my circles are not as smooth, like especially that back part, there's a little bit of a jump there. And then change direction. Ooh. Remember, we're drawing this little circle on the wall. Find that sweet spot where you can maintain it, but you have to work hard. So you don't want to be falling all over the place. Make it a little bit smaller if you are, but you still want to be working hard. Good. Last circle. Oh, and then release it down. Good. So from here, just come onto your front, push yourself up. Now, if you've got knee problems, come onto your back, hug your knees. Otherwise, you can try a child pose if you want to, if that feels nice, just to give your bum a little bit of a stretch. And then we'll come into seated position. Any position that's comfortable. Oh, I can feel my bum there. Definitely my right one is burning much more than the left one. So if you have, like me, the big difference on one side and you've got an extra few minutes now, quickly jump onto that side that needs more. This is what Pilates is about, bringing balance to the body, which means not doing the same on both sides, but doing more on the side that you find is a little bit harder. So Joseph Pilates used to say, what you don't like, do more of. Right, so that's it for today, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.